After Xianxia left the Hundreds of Flowers Palace, he had already obtained the alive slain method, but he did not have the time to try and condense those creation divine liquid yet. The distribution of power in Dtion had changed a lot. Xianxia understood that many of the stronger powers in Dtion had no choice but to bow their heads to the stronger powers in the Nine Heavens. However, the Super Martial School did not. When Xianxia heard the news, he was shocked. The Super Martial School was considered stronger. Even with Gu Dongchen and Wu Keiming leading, it would still be difficult to deal with the powerful Immortal becoming realm rankers, but they managed to hold on, causing Xianxia to suspect that there was an even stronger person supporting the Super Martial School. The dragon subduing city has been destroyed. I can only walk to the evil dragon graveyard now. Xianxia heard that not only was the dragon subduing city destroyed, but during the Great Battle, it also affected the nearby Pill City and even turned that place into a wasteland. This Dtion was very big, and the area that Xianxia was currently in was also the demon realm. If he wanted to go to the evil dragon graveyard, he could only teleport to the city closest to the evil dragon graveyard, and then head there by himself. He was teleported to the continent of the king. This place was the closest to the evil dragon graveyard, and with the help of the power of the spatial laws, he could reach the evil dragon graveyard even faster. I wonder what's going on with Dad. Is the mysterious tomb still sealed? There was a very powerful barrier and a super dragon vein there. Xianxia had spent a lot of effort to get in, but his father and his clansmen were all stationed there, and they had grasped many things, so if they were to rely on that super dragon vein, they should also become strong. However, they were unable to come out because their character was to protect the mysterious tomb. Dtion was still as mysterious as ever. The 10 Heavens Supreme Lord's Emperor's tomb was right here, but even now, he still did not know the exact location. On the way to the evil dragon graveyard, Xianxia met a large group of people. This group of people were all not weak, so when they rushed to the evil dragon graveyard, Xianxia could not help but suspect that they were going to attack the evil dragon graveyard. However, when he got closer, he realized that this group of people were all from the dragon subduing school S. It was just that they were disguised as from other sects, and did not look like them at all. Only the elite disciples would understand why these 10,000 elite disciples are out there. They are Xiao Dao's troops. Xianxia did not immediately go over, but chose to stay at a distance to follow him. Very quickly, he found Yun Xiaodao in the crowd, which made him extremely happy. Yun Xiaodao had become very strong. He was in the middle stage of the Immortal King stage. "Xiaodao, it's me," Xianxia said as he sent a sound transmission to Yun Xiaodao. "What are you doing? Shouldn't all of you be in the evil dragon graveyard right now?" When Yun Xiaodao heard the sound transmission that suddenly came in his ears, he was wild with joy, but on the surface, he maintained a calm expression. He only ordered the vice leader to continue leading the way, while he sprinted towards the forest not far away. "Elder brother Shin, it's really you." Seeing Xianxia's familiar smiling face, Yun Xiaodao immediately rushed forward to embrace her. "Where are old Zhu and the others? Are they all right?" Xianxia laughed. "None of them died." Yun Xiaodao grinned. "Our lives are very tough. It's just that everyone will get hurt occasionally. That's all." Originally, Yun Xiaodao had felt very heavy on the road, because they were about to face a strong wave of power. But now that Xianxia had returned, he felt that even if the sky collapsed, he did not need to worry. "Aren't you all inside the evil dragon graveyard?" Xianxia asked again. "It was originally, but we came out for other important matters, mainly to secretly destroy some large powers' garrisons, and to make a big mess of their condensed power. This way, we can delay their main attack, but for some reason, we don't know why now, a group of powerful Night Devils are causing a ruckus in the vicinity of the evil dragon graveyard." Yun Xiaodao said. "If they were to launch an all-out attack, would they be able to break through evil dragon graveyard? How is evil dragon graveyard's defense now?" Xianxia asked. Yun Xiaodao sighed. "If they were to launch an all-out attack, no matter how powerful the evil dragon graveyard is, there would be a certain amount of damage. In the past few decades, we have been attacked many times, and every 3 times, they would be the ones to break through the outer defenses of the evil dragon graveyard and attack our dragon subduing school. This time, they have won over many powers and the great Night Devil's humanoid Night Devil. so I am not allowed to gather all of the elites that are outside. Xianxia did not expect the evil dragon graveyard to not only fail but had also had its defenses broken and almost destroyed. He frowned and asked, "How much power do they have gathered this time?" Yun Xiaodao said with a grave expression on his face. Yanyao and Lanlan heard from the outside that Imperial Dragon Race, Fire Divine Palace, Devil Suppressing Divine Palace, Xie Family, Heaven Sword City, Divine Artisan Mountain Villa, Myriad Dan Immortal Country. More than a dozen saints and Tong Tian aristocratic family S are the core strength. Then, they even called over several hundred of the immortal palaces and more than a dozen great immortal countries. Elder Brother Shin. Luckily you came back. If not, I'm afraid we would have to leave this time. Yun Xiaodao said. Thank you for your hard work. Chun Xiang patted Yun Xiaodao's shoulders. He was feeling a lot of pressure now. I'm not going back first. I never expected them to gather so much energy. I need to get some help too. Yes. Yun Xiaodao nodded. He had heard that there were two very strong elders in the Dragon Subduing School. One was the Great Clan Elder, and the other was the rarely seen female Very High Elder. Are Duan Ming and the rest in the Dragon Subduing School now? Chen Xiang asked. Yes. It's all thanks to him that the Dragon Subduing School was able to resolve the crisis. Chen Xiang took out tens of millions of kilograms of holy stone and a large number of immortal pellets, and gave them to Yun Xiaodao. Bring all of these back, and then let the two of you discuss how to distribute them. The total attack that they are planning to prepare ought to be for a period of time yet. We still have some time. All these years, although the Long family has not helped us, they have secretly given us many high-level weapons and armor. They would be used on our elite disciples to make them stronger. Yun Xiaodao tore off his clothes so that Chun Xiang could see the soft armor on him. It was refined from the Holy Armored Lion's holy armor. At first, LV Chilian gave Xianxia a lot of it and used it to refine these armor. When Chun Xiang thought about this, he took out the Holy Armored Lion scales and bones and handed them over to Yun Xiaodao. You must think of a way to deliver this to the Long family and hand it over to Xianxia. Not only were there the skeletons and scales of some holy beasts, there were also the materials that he had ordered Red Cloud and Jilinger to buy were all high-grade items. After parting with Yun Xiaodao, Chun Xiang changed his direction and returned to the city of the king, preparing to head towards the original Chun martial continent. He was going to find the White Tiger. Dragon Subduing School was besieged by such a powerful force. He did not plan to drag along the Dragon Guy and the Super Martial School, nor any power that he could call upon. Even if the hundreds of Flowers Palace joined in, he was afraid that it would be difficult to resist such a powerful offensive. The White Tiger Profound Realm was above the Chun martial continent. Although there were a lot of changes here, Chun Xiang still remembered the way. After he arrived near the Profound Realm, he teleported into the White Tiger Profound Realm. White Tiger Profound Realm was still as relaxed as before. Although there was a very powerful White Tiger fighting race inside, there was no killing intent at all. Chan Xiang, who had already entered the Immortal Becoming Realm, was able to easily capture the White Tiger's aura. After sensing the White Tiger's location, he traveled through space again until he arrived underneath the huge tree. Come on up. The White Tiger had also discovered him and sent him a telepathic message. Chun Xiang came to a tree hole on the tree. The White Tiger and Baijian were inside, with faint smiles on their faces. They seemed to have already guessed that Chun Xiang would come. It's been so many years. I never thought that you would become so strong. I'm afraid Baijian is no longer your opponent. The White Tiger laughed. You must have gained a lot in the Nine-Heaven world. Chun Xiang did not hold back, sat on a wooden chair, and laughed. You are the great clan elder of the Dragon Subduing School. If I come now, you should know my purpose for coming here. The White Tiger nodded, smiled and looked at Baijian. It's been a long time since our White Tiger fighting race has truly fought. It's time to let that group of brats experience the world. Now, Chun Xiang asked. I'll go prepare it now. Baijian laughed and left the cave. After Baijian left, the White Tiger asked in a deep voice. I heard that you went to that heaven realm and stayed there for more than 200 years. What did you see there? Saint beasts, very powerful saint beasts. There are a lot of them. Xianxia said. The white tiger walked to the entrance of the tree and looked into the distance. Thinking back, it said, "That's right. There are indeed many powerful saint beasts in that place, but as far as I know, the strongest is still a group of humans." He turned around, looked at Xianxia, and asked again, "Didn't you meet that human in the sky?" Xianxia said, "I did. The reason I was able to improve so quickly was because I was in Tiandu City, and I had a few strong heaven people with me. Senior, back then 10 Heaven's Supreme Lord was attacked by those people from the realm of Flame Heaven. Wasn't that war caused by the realm of Flame Heaven?" Xianxia asked. Back then, Qi Shi was very powerful, and he had even grasped such a terrifying thing as the heavenly alchemy. Above Dtion, he had directly absorbed a large amount of 9 Heavens Immortal aura to refine pills, and sometimes he had even selected a few stars. If this goes on, the 9 heavens will only grow stronger and stronger, threatening the safety of their heavenly realm. Therefore, before Qi Shi even discovered the heavenly realm, they had already secretly joined hands with a few heavenly realms and descended together to the 9 heavens. This led to a huge war with Qi Shi, who had a lot of loyal subordinates and friends. But 10 Heaven's Supreme Lord Qi Shi is very strong. Almost all of his subordinates have been annihilated, and his strength alone is enough to resist those Sky Region fellows for a very long time. Xianxia asked, "According to the clues that I know, the death of 10 Heaven's Supreme Lord is still a mystery. In the end, he abandoned the green dragon demon-slain broadsword, established his own emperor's tomb, and established his own 10 heavenly sacred mountain." The white tiger shook its head. "No, it's the Hell Devil Emperor, the great emperor who manages the entire infernal realm." Xianxia took in a deep breath. This reminded him of the Night Devil Hell. Because of the great war that happened in the primordial era, that place broke through hell, opening up a gap that was difficult to make up. It caused the entire sacred beast's ancient realm to be destroyed. I heard about the Night Devil Hell as well. I even went to the sacred beast's ancient realm, and when I returned, I went past the entrance to hell. Xianxia frowned. Now, even Night Devil Hell's people have come to attack my dragon subduing school. I wonder why. Why did the Hell Devil Emperor attack the 10 Heavens Supreme Lord? The Hell Devil Emperor is very strong. The hell he governs is spread throughout all realms and the heaven and above. After the deaths of those heinous people, as long as their souls are still alive, they will be sucked into hell. Powerful evil spirits are one of the powers that maintain the flow of energy in the infernal realm. Qi Shi's men are very strong in the 9 heaven world, so because of the excessive killing, they would enter the infernal realm after their deaths. So some of the managers in the infernal realm wanted their souls, and then they would collude with some of the people in the heaven realm. As Xianxia listened up to this point, he had already guessed that the matter of 10 Heaven's Supreme Lord blasting open the gates of hell back then was not that simple. Therefore, the moment Qi Shi's subordinates died, their souls would immediately disappear. Qi Shi, who had the control of the heaven-earth killing method, could have kept all of those souls and resurrected them. The special care of the infernal realm left Qi Shi powerless to reverse the situation. I wonder how he found a weak point in space and lured a large group of Sky Realm rankers to a great battle in the Sacred Beast's ancient realm. He blasted a hole there, broke into the infernal realm, and killed a few hell demons who were in charge of collecting souls. Using the heavenly alchemy, he refined a large amount of evil spirits from the infernal realm into pills. Xianxia took a few deep breaths. 10 Heaven's Supreme Lord had actually done this before. It's no big deal. Why didn't you tell me before? Xianxia curled his lips and asked. It's mainly because of that little white dragon in your body. If she finds out about this, the consequences will be even worse. The white tiger said, that small dragon probably went to Imperial Dragon Race to cause trouble, so I'm not afraid to tell you these secrets. What does it have to do with her? Xianxia was very confused. Even though she knows a lot of things, they are all inheritances of her memories. The white tiger laughed. You believe in her inheritance of memories. Memories usually only come from memories that are more important. She must have told you a lot of random things. Do you think that is also an inheritance of memories? How could a newly born creature be able to bear so many inheritance of memories? Then what's the matter with her? Xianxia thought about it, and felt that Long Shui was very mysterious too. She seemed to be a disappointed person. Her memories were awakening bit by bit. I only know that this little dragon has a great relationship with Qi Shi. Qi Shi's body was beheaded by the Hell Devil Emperor, but his soul was brought into hell, and I heard that it was suppressed there. If she knew the whereabouts of Qi Shi's soul a long time ago, she would definitely encourage you to go. Even if you didn't go, she would have gone as well. The White Tiger said seriously, with your current strength, if you go to hell, there's only death. Although the Hell Devil Emperor is unable to cover up that loophole, don't doubt his strength. Back then, in the 9 heavens, even the experts of the heavenly realm were unable to do anything to Qi Shi. However, when Hell Devil Emperor only said that he wanted to capture him personally, Qi Shi had already started to prepare for the future and isolate the green dragon demon-slain broadsword and the other divine weapons on his body. He had passed on the heaven-earth killing method and the heavenly alchemy to them, so he knew very well that he had no chance of winning against the Hell Devil Emperor. Qi Shi's soul is still in hell. You absolutely must not tell that little dragon about this. Xianxia was very curious. Just what is the relationship between her and Qi Shi? The White Tiger frowned, as if it was considering whether to tell Xianxia or not. Okay, I can tell you, but you must not tell that little dragon. The White Tiger's tone was very serious. Seeing Xianxia nodding his head heavily, it said in a low voice, Qi Shi has the important white dragon item in his hand. That item is tied up with Qi Shi's soul. What's this? Xianxia was even more curious now. Divine deity, the White Tiger said in a deep voice. I suspect that the little dragon that hid you in your body in the past was the heavenly dragon supreme lord back then. It can be considered a divine dragon, with its own divine deity. I wonder what kind of thing Qi Shi used to trade with her, to borrow her divine deity, allowing Qi Shi to obtain very powerful strength. When Heavenly Dragon Supreme Lord cultivated her divine deity, many dragons called her Dragon Emperor, and because of this, many holy dragons became dissatisfied. Those holy dragons fought for more benefits, and in the end, they joined hands to annihilate the entire White Dragon tribe. Xianxia was shocked in her heart, and she took a few deep breaths to calm herself down. This means that she died because she didn't have any divine deity. The White Tiger shook its head. This is only one of the reasons. I think that the people of Hell and the heavenly realm have secretly made their move as well. Her dragon body was split up between the heavenly and holy dragons, and her soul is sent to the infernal realm, but from the looks of it, her soul didn't go to the infernal realm. In the past, when Long Shui always said that he was the heavenly dragon supreme lord, Xianxia thought that she was just bragging. He never thought that it was actually true, and when he thought back to Long Shui's abnormal rate of improvement, he felt that it was a little abnormal. However, Long Shui had always misled him, saying that the imperial dragon race was like this, making him feel that it was very normal. Especially when he often trained in God's join method with Long Shui, his improvement was so quick. This was because Long Shui herself had a very powerful soul. She was not a newborn little dragon at all, but a genuine ancestral dragon. Within the endless heaven realm, there are only a few who discovered strong life forms. Those few are the strongest humans and beasts in the heaven realm, and they are about the same as the 9 emperors and 5 venerables back in the day, not that much stronger. However, there are only a few who manage to cultivate divine deity, and they can't even be cultivated in the 10 days Great Yanjing. The White Tiger said, since that dragon has been reborn, it probably won't be easy for it to cultivate divine deity, so she knows the whereabouts of Qi Shi's soul and will definitely go and retrieve her divine deity. Senior, what about you? Have you managed to cultivate divine deity yet? Xianxia asked curiously. I almost managed to cultivate it, but who would have known that it would be so unlucky? Because I was Qi Shi's master and was also targeted by the Hell Devil Emperor, I killed too many people while I was still alive, so after being killed I took a walk around the infernal realm. The White Tiger sighed. That's why you have to be careful. Don't get targeted by the Hell Devil Emperor. Xianxia had left him for more than 10 days. Logically speaking, he should have already found the Imperial Dragon race and made some movements, but there was no news of him at all. When launching their total attack on the evil dragon graveyard, the Imperial Dragon race was the main force. When the strong huge dragons attacked together and used their strong abilities, it made Xianxia feel terrified. I will have Baijian prepare to attack at any time. Take this thing, when the battle starts, just throw it into the air, and then we will immediately come over. The white tiger gave a pearl to Xianxia. Xianxia received the pearl, and the white tiger held onto his shoulder, warned him once again. Remember, you must not tell that white dragon about what I told you before. With your current strength, you and her are still unable to contend against that terrifying hell. I know. Xianxia nodded his head heavily. After leaving the white tiger profound realm, Xianxia looked in the direction of the Devil continent. There was a mysterious ancient tomb there, where his father and clansmen were. He wanted to go and see them, but he was a little worried that he wouldn't be able to return when the evil dragon graveyard was attacked. There's still some time. I should go to profound cold ancient realm to have a look. That place should have some other secrets. Xianxia suddenly thought of the powerful profound cold ancient realm. The profound beings inside had sealed a large amount of precious things, and his own philosophic stone had opened up from within, along with that heaven-suppressed immortal monument. Legend has it that the great Yanjing did not dare to enter the depths of profound cold ancient realm for 10 days, and the white tiger also confirmed this point. Back then, before the profound cold ancient realm was frozen, it was already an extraordinary place. It was rumored that 10 Heavens Supreme Lord had already died and could not be resurrected. However, after the white tiger told him that 10 Heavens Supreme Lord's soul was still in hell, he felt that it was possible that 10 Heavens Supreme Lord would be resurrected. Moreover, that 10 Heavenly Sacred Mountain might have been a pretense. He started to suspect that the 10 Heavens Supreme Lord's tomb was inside that profound cold ancient realm. Xianxia came to the city of the king and left a secret note there. Soon enough, he contacted Huang Jintian and the two met in a relatively dilapidated part of the city. Inside a shabby little house, Huang Jintian was wolfing down a beast meat. The moment Xianxia walked in and saw the beast meat, he knew it was holy beast meat. Without saying a word, he reached out and grabbed a large piece of it. The meat of these saint beasts is much better than the meat of the golden rock. Huang Jintian laughed out loud. Master, what did you find? Xianxia asked. He wanted to know the exact total attack time of those big powers. There are a lot of forces surrounding Evil Dragon Graveyard. Furthermore, those fellows who initiated this operation don't feel that their powers are sufficient and are currently trying to recruit more factions. At that time, there might be a huge battle. Huang Jintian's face became gloomy. He did not even have any appetite when eating meat. What heaven region are they all from? Xianxia had just returned from the Absolute Monarch Sanctuary not long ago, so it was impossible for the Absolute Monarch Sanctuary to participate. There are 3 heavenly regions: the heavenly region of Holy Ice, the heavenly Evil Realm, and another one that seems like the heavenly region of Holy Thunder. They all seem to be very powerful. Heavenly Evil Realm, Evil Emperor went to this heaven realm. I wonder if he is still inside. Xianxia was a little shocked. Evil Emperor is 10 Heavens Supreme Lord's friend. I wonder if he will appear this time? Huang Jintian shook his head. That's hard to say, but when experts from the Sky region attack, without the power of the 9 Emperors and 5 Venerables back then, they wouldn't be able to resist. I wonder when they will launch the offensive. Xianxia asked. It's best if the time is correct. 5 months. I've snuck into their core region and used some methods. I heard that the 3 Sky Realm warriors still need some time to open the spatial tunnel, so there'll be a lot of people from the 3 realms by then. Huang Jintian said, Your evil dragon graveyard is in danger. They are determined to take down that dragon vein, because after Ditian was reborn, it has become a lot higher level. The Devil continent also has a dragon vein. Why didn't they go and take it? Xianxia snorted. You're talking about the place that came to the mortal world, right? That place is the tomb of a god, and that god is half dead. If they go there to cause trouble, then that guy would revive and they would all die. Huang Jintian said, Master, you should know about the tomb. My father and the others are inside. Xianxia asked anxiously, How much do you know about the god graveyard? Huang Jintian said, I do not know much, but they are all recorded in some ancient books of my undead race. Many of the old people in the Nine-Heaven world know a little, but no one dares to touch the tomb. It is said that the people guarding the tomb are all very strong, and your father and the rest have already become tomb watchers. There are still 5 months, are you sure? Xianxia asked. Of course I'm sure. Only a few people from the 3 heavenly realms can make it here. If they want to obtain the dragon fountain and capture you alive, they need to have sufficient strength. Therefore, they have to open a huge space gate. Huang Jintian said with certainty. What, you want to cultivate in seclusion for a while? Xianxia shook his head. I want to make a trip to the profound cold ancient realm. Do you remember when we were being hunted by a group of beasts in the Absolute Monarch Sanctuary? I released those small pills, which were refined using the profound Bing S in the profound cold ancient realm. That was the annihilating ice seal Dan. Even though 200 years had passed, Huang Jintian still vividly remembered that kind of small pill's power, which made Huang Jintian extremely envious. He was sure that the small ice balls Xianxia had refined now were definitely even more powerful. Heh, I'm going there to find a large number of profound Bing and use those to refine even more powerful destructive ice seal Dan. When the time comes, I'll hide outside their dimensional door. Once the door is opened, a large number of them will go over. Xianxia laughed sinisterly. Master, you don't have much to do here. Let's go together. He patted him on the shoulder with a malicious look on his face. Huang Jintian curled his lips. I remember you opening up a lot of good stuff in those profound Bing. I've asked around about those profound Bing and I found out that there are a lot of good things that can be broken out from within. If I can get them out from inside, but I can give you some. I have a lot of holy stone with me. When the time comes I can use holy stone to exchange for them. Xianxia laughed. Give it to me. Huang Jintian thought for a moment, then shouted, 50 kilograms of holy stone. I'll go with you. When the time comes and there's good stuff, I don't want it. In Huang Jintian's knowledge, there should be a lot of holy stone with a weight of 500,000 kilograms. He felt that even if Xianxia could take it out, his heart would still ache. Who knew that Xianxia would throw out a storage bag and say, Deal, it's settled. This was indeed the first time he had seen so many holy stone. The little bit he had seen in the quarry back then made him and Mauer feel that there were a lot of benefits, let alone this much. Brat, do you have a lot of holy stone-s? Only now did Huang Jintian know that he had underestimated Xianxia. He never thought that Xianxia would actually be able to fish up so many holy stone-s from inside the capital. Not much, just a few million gene. Xianxia smiled faintly. With the help of Cat, you will definitely get more good stuff. Huang Jintian snorted. I secretly gave some bones and scales of a holy beast to the little girl, Xianxia, in your name, since you have so many holy stone. You should give me some. Furthermore, I'm your master. It's perfectly justified for you to be filial to me. Really, how much did you send Xianxia? Was rather happy about it. Refiners were the same as the Alchemist. Familiarity makes perfect. With so many good materials to refine, Xianxia and the others would definitely be very happy. There are dozens of saint beasts. If you don't believe me, go ask them. After Huang Jintian finished speaking, he reached out his hand for Xianxia to give him some more holy stone. Xianxia took out another 500,000 caddies and threw it at Huang Jintian, causing him to reveal a satisfied smile. Aren't you going to go back and meet Xianxia, the little girl? But even if you want to meet her now, I'm afraid that it won't be easy to do so. She must have been hidden away by the Long family. Who knows if the Heaven Realm will capture her or force you to hand over the Dragon Fountain. Huang Jintian shook his head and sighed. If they dare to do this, I will do everything in my power to kill them. Xianxia's expression turned cold. Huang Jintian knew that Xianxia had something as powerful as super old poison. If Xianxia was a little stronger with the help of super old poison, it would be extremely terrifying. Now, they no longer have any intentions of hitting you green dragon demon-slain broadsword. They already know that it's difficult to separate you from them. But that group of idiots actually didn't know about it. Huang Jintian laughed. When are you leaving for profound cold ancient realm? Xianxia thought for a while. Before I go to profound, cold, ancient realm, I need to go somewhere else to see an old friend. You want to take me there? Huang Jintian asked. Of course, I'll take you to broaden your horizons. There's also a very mysterious area in Ditian. Xianxia laughed. The super-old sacred land was located in a dangerous region of the continent of the king. The danger there right now was nothing much to Xianxia and Huang Jintian. Isn't this the super-old sacred land? I've been here before, Huang Jintian said. You're only here, but you're not in a deep place. Xianxia grabbed his arm, then traveled through space to the place full of ruins. Back then, when Xianxia brought Lu Menger and her group in to find the primordial god book, other than the ruins, everything inside was filled with danger. There was also a powerful blue dragon guarding this place. This place is a completely different world. Could it be a heavenly domain? Huang Jintian was a little shocked. He sensed that the aura here did not absorb any immortal energy. It did not seem like it was in the nine-heaven world. Lansong, Lansong. Chunxiang shouted loudly towards the surroundings. Lansong was a mysterious blue dragon. His strength was very strong, and at that time, Chunxiang exchanged his blood ginseng with. What are you shouting for? Where have you been all these years? I almost forgot about you. Lansong appeared. He looked like a middle-aged man wearing a blue robe and had an impatient look on his face. When Huang Jintian saw Lansong, he said, "What a powerful dragon." Sensing the dragon-slaying qi on Huang Jintian's body, Lansong frowned. You want to kill me? How many dragons have you killed? Huang Jintian laughed. I don't really remember. The dragons I kill are very annoying, but you don't hate them, so I'm too lazy to take action. Lansong laughed out loud. Those dragons that I hate the most should be Imperial Dragon Race's dragons. Chunxiang said, Old Blue, Imperial Dragon Race wants to besiege me. Are you going to help me or not? Lansong immediately asked, Are there any rewards? It's really not enough, you still need to pay for it. Chunxiang curled his lips. Then forget it. Ditian appeared on top of everyone today. This place will soon be discovered by others. When that happens, my mission will be completed. Lansong yawned. It's been so many years since I slept all day. Huang Jintian asked curiously, Why are you guarding this place? What kind of place is this world? I can't say. Lansong shook his head. I can only tell you, this is not Sky Region, but a place even more terrifying than Sky Region. Chunxiang took out a pearl that held a thunder soul and said, Tell me where this place is, then help me beat up some annoying fellows. This thunder soul is yours. The more thunder soul that Lansong trained in, the better it was for him. Looking at the pearl that was holding the thunder soul, it was like a hooligan seeing a beautiful lady without clothes. No, I can't leave here. I promised that person that I won't tell anyone about this. Lansong took a deep breath. Chunxiang kept the Thunder Soul beads. He had taken these from the Thunder Tao Double Venerables, so it didn't matter if he gave them to Lansong. After all, he could get a strong helper. Then forget it. Just as Chunxiang was about to put away the Thunder Soul, Lansong quickly stopped him and said smilingly, All right, even if I were to break my promise, that person still wouldn't know. Even if that person knew that I obtained the Thunder Soul, he definitely wouldn't blame me. Hearing him say that, Chunxiang and Huang Jintian looked at him in disdain. Who is that person? Huang Jintian asked anxiously. He said that he is a divine blacksmith and that he is a brother of our dragon clan's Azure Dragon. He saved me and is very powerful, so I promised him that I will protect this place. If anyone comes in, I will lead them to a dangerous place and send them to their deaths. Lansong said. Chunxiang was not too surprised. The last time he came here with Lu Menger, he found that divine book. Then what about this place? Chunxiang asked. What the hell is this place without immortal energy? How do you survive? Lansong sighed. I know that this place is called the Divine Land. The divine artisan old man told me that there is a huge door hidden here, and I can go to a very powerful place. So that's the case. It seems that many powerful fellows have been here before. Chunxiang said. There are many of them, but I have been guiding them in the most dangerous direction. They should be dead by now. Lan Song laughed. He did not feel any guilt at all. Chun Xiang needed these kind of dark and gloomy people to deal with the powers of the Imperial Dragon race. Since Lan Song could stay here for such a long time, he must have many powerful cultivation methods. How can I contact you when the time comes? I don't need you to do anything now, Chun Xiang asked. Lan Song took out a small scale that looked like a shell. This is Long Bei. When you need me, use this to contact me. When the time comes, you should know how to use it, Lan Song said. Chun Xiang kept Long Bei and chatted with him for a while before he left the place with Huang Jintian. The profound ice city was located inside the profound cold ancient realm. It was only through a few formations that one could make the inside warm up and imitate sunlight, otherwise ordinary people would definitely freeze to death here. This was the Fire Divine Palace's territory, and Chun Xiang had been sealed here for a period of time. I never thought that the profound cold ancient realm would become colder and colder. What's going on? I wonder if this place has anything to do with the Saint Ice realm. When Chen Xiang and Huang Jintian just got out of the city, they felt the cold weather outside was much worse than before. At this time, inside profound cold ancient realm, there was a blizzard all day. Without any strength, it was difficult to even move an inch in this place, and there were also dangers lurking around. This might be because Dition has returned. All that is being absorbed here is the power of the Holy Spirit. It must be powerful. It seems like without the power of an immortal, no one can wander around here. Even the immortal monarch, if we wander around, would be in danger, said as the ice shards hit his face, causing him to feel an ice-cold pain. He had no choice but to release a protective shield of air to block them. On the other hand, Chun Xiang was fine. It was just that the snow and wind here was heavy, causing them to advance very slowly. No wonder there are so few profound beings now. Without sufficient strength, it would be difficult to find one. Chun Xiang said. He had just released Suzaku Fire Wing, but very quickly the ice and snow that was flying towards him were exterminated. The ice and snow in this place were extremely powerful. Those flames that Chun Xiang had released with his divine power were all extinguished. The sacred fire might not be extinguished, but it would consume too much energy. Huang Jintian laughed. Quickly think of a way. Chun Xiang took out a golden small boat. This was what he had obtained from others in the past. Chun Xiang and Huang Jintian entered the cabin. Inside was a small warm hall, and through the window, they could see the strong wind howling outside. Good stuff, why didn't you take it out earlier? Huang Jintian drank some hot water and asked worriedly, will your boat be buried by the snow? There is a shield outside the boat, and the snow cannot cover it. Chun Xiang said. He poured spirit chi into the boat moved smoothly. The speed was extremely fast. The environment of the profound cold ancient realm had become so vile. Chun Xiang did not expect this at all, and this had increased the difficulty of his search for profound being to such an extent. In this situation, how are we to find the profound being? Huang Jintian sighed. Let's go inside and take a look first. The blizzard should stop, Chun Xiang said. He came here not only to find profound being, but also to see what secrets were hidden inside. Huang Jintian comfortably leaned against a chair covered in beast skins, drinking hot water, seemingly not wanting to leave the cabin at all. Master, does your old undead race have any records about this place? Chun Xiang asked. Let me see. Huang Jintian took out a thick book, and like a small box, he opened it one page at a time. Chun Xiang moved closer to take a look. This book was very strange. There was no paper on it. Every page was a transparent yet hard crystal slice. There were many pieces in a book, but there was nothing on the book. This is an ancient book of our undead race. There are many things written on it that we use our consciousness to look through. You are not from undead race, so you cannot see what is written on it. Huang Jintian laughed. We of the undead race have a small hobby. We just like to record many big events that happen in the history of the undead race. Oh, then is it 10 Heavens Supreme Lord's business? Chun Xiang's heart jumped. He anxiously asked. He already knew a thing or two about 10 Heavens Supreme Lord, He wanted to see if it was the same as what the white tiger said. Huang Jintian shook his head and sighed. There is, but I don't know which page was locked on. How can I open it? Xianxia stood behind Huang Jintian, looking at the crystal pages and using his chaos divine eye. He still couldn't see anything. A very powerful divine sense. Huang Jintian said. I train in the divine way, and now I have the immortal becoming realm. It should be enough. Xianxia said excitedly. I will lend you my god power. Huang Jintian's eyes lit up. He anxiously flipped to the sealed page and saw that it was black. Once I get rid of those black stuff, I can look at the contents inside. The entire page should have a lot of content on it. The things recorded on the page are usually the major events of thousands or tens of thousands of years. Huang Jintian said. Xianxia exclaimed. This undead race's life mission was to record big events in history. There are still many empty pages at the back that I need to record. Huang Jintian was a little helpless. I'm just a lazy kid. I'm busy. Xianxia pressed down on Huang Jintian's head, and then used the method of soul-absorbing devil spell to pour his divine power into Huang Jintian's sea of consciousness. Brat! Your divine power is so powerful. Huang Jintian turned pale with fright. Little by little, you brought so many people and all of a sudden, do you want to take my life? You're so weak. Xianxia laughed. The amount of divine force that he had transferred and decreased. Huang Jintian's eyes shot out 2 rays of golden light, shining on the black page. The black color gradually turned into black and scattered. The page gradually became transparent. When he was completely transparent, Xianxia withdrew his divine power. At this time, his brows were knitted tightly, and when he looked at the thing on the page, he could tell that there were many shocking things hidden inside. Xianxia quietly called out from the side, Master! Master! Huang Jintian did not pay attention to him. His expression became more solemn, and his forehead was covered in cold sweat. This made Xianxia's heart itch. Huang Jintian saw many incredible things. Xianxia impatiently waited for an hour before he closed the book. His face was filled with shock, and Xianxia rarely saw him with such an expression. What's written on it? Quick! Tell me. Xianxia was already curious to death. Seeing that Huang Jintian had finally finished reading, he anxiously asked, shaking Huang Jintian's body. Huang Jintian sighed. I never thought it would actually be like this. It's too scary. Don't keep me guessing. Hurry up and tell me. Xianxia shouted. This? You're sure you want to hear it? Huang Jintian frowned. That's not a good thing. Speak. Even if it wasn't anything good, it wasn't anything good to Xianxia. He had experienced many bad things before. There's not as much inside as I thought. Huang Jintian said. First tell me what you have been very curious about. It has to do with the 10 Heavens Supreme Lord. Xianxia patiently listened. He wanted to see if what Huang Jintian said was the same as what the white tiger said. Huang Jintian carefully narrated some of the unknown things that happened in the 10 Heavens Supreme Lord. It was just like what the white tiger said. The 10 Heavens Supreme Lord was killed by the Hell Devil Emperor. Their physical bodies were still there, and their souls were suppressed in hell. Did you mention where 10 Heavens Supreme Lord's corpse went? Xianxia cared more about this. After thinking about it again and again, he felt that 10 Heavens Supreme Lord's corpse was most likely hidden here. Huang Jintian saw that Xianxia was not surprised at all, and said, You must have known about this a long time ago, right? Your purpose in coming here, is it to search for 10 Heavens Supreme Lord's corpse? Xianxia laughed. I don't know much either. I'm still not sure where the real Emperor's tomb is. I just think it's possible that they are here. You guessed it right. The 10 Heavens Supreme Lord is hiding inside this profound, cold, ancient realm. Huang Jintian said. According to the records above, it's not easy to enter that place, but with the green dragon demon-slain broadsword and the divine weapons you have, it might be easier for you. Xianxia was overjoyed and asked anxiously, Is there a specific location? Huang Jintian shook his head. I didn't say, but we should be able to find it, because the records above still have information about the profound, cold, ancient realm. The profound cold ancient realm was extremely mysterious, and not even the White Tiger and 10 Heavens Supreme Lord dared to go inside. That's why you're afraid. Xianxia didn't understand why Huang Jintian had a face full of fear just now. Huang Jintian did not answer. Instead, he drank a mouthful of hot soup and said, "Before this place was covered in snow and ice, it was an extremely dangerous place, where a group of exiled gods gathered. Not only that, there is also a large group of powerful beasts that came with them." Xianxia was shocked. She immediately stopped the small boat. A group of gods in exile. Xianxia was overwhelmed with shock and fear. The gods in his eyes were incomparably powerful. There was actually a group of people here. Don't worry, the deities that were sent to this place are very weak. They are all semi-handicapped, and after running here for a period of time, they were killed by the powerful people that chased after them. Huang Jintian said, "The god that came here to kill us was very strong, but he also died. That guy cultivates the power of frost. He experienced a huge battle here, and in the end, he died here, causing this place to become a world of ice and snow." Xianxia took in a deep breath. Just because of a great battle, such a large region had been frozen and sealed until now. That guy's body was smashed into smithereens, and his flesh and blood scattered across the ground. Who knows how long it will take before that guy's energy completely disappears. Xianxia now understood why the White Tiger had obtained the heaven-earth killing method from this place, as well as that mysterious stone, which was his current killing god heart. There was an extremely terrifying soul within that stone, the soul of a god. The White Tiger had once said that when he picked up the heaven-earth killing method here, he returned to the sacred beast's ancient realm and passed it down to many powerful holy beasts. Xianxia held his heart. He felt even more uneasy about the killing god heart inside. This land was once a place where a group of deities went into exile, and one of them had brought a heaven-earth killing method here. Also, this place is very powerful, but it doesn't seem to be a threat. Xianxia asked. He was sure that Huang Jintian was not worried about this place. Huang Jintian said in a low voice, "The tomb that your father and the others are guarding is what I'm most worried about." "What?" Xianxia's face changed. He suddenly felt nervous and anxiously asked, "Master, is there a problem with the tomb? I heard that there is a god buried there, but that god is a very good one." Huang Jintian sighed. "That's right, but the other guy might not be the truth, because there are 2 half-dead gods buried inside. Although it is very difficult for them to revive, no one can say for sure, because the fact that the tomb would fall on top of a grave is not a coincidence. Even if they do not want to revive, there are people who would still want them to live. Doesn't that mean my dad and the others will be in danger?" Xianxia really wanted to immediately head over to the tomb and take out all of his clansmen. "It's not that your father is in danger, it's that the entire Dtion is in danger. Look at this, just because the 2 of them fought against each other. Yet the world has been frozen by ice and snow up till now. And the 2 guys that were revived are both very powerful gods." Huang Jintian said. "These guys can't even stay in their own places anymore. What are they doing in places like Dtion?" Xianxia scolded himself. "This is not clear. Our ancient books did not record it, but they definitely left the high-level world they lived in for something important." Huang Jintian said, "Don't be afraid, besides the illusion being rather harsh, there won't be any other great dangers. We should be able to find the tomb of the 10 Heavens Supreme Lord." Xianxia felt that the 2 gods inside the tomb were here to find either the heaven-earth killing method or the heavenly alchemy. Previously, the White Tiger had hinted that the 2 gods were equally strong in that high-leveled world. He felt that the White Tiger must have hidden something from him, and the White Tiger definitely knew something about the gods. This small boat floated steadily forward, and had been traveling in the profound cold ancient realm for more than 10 days. Although it was in a snowstorm, its speed was not slow. It should be somewhere deeper. Xianxia looked out of the window. The snow was still wildly dancing, and the terrifying snowstorm was still continuing. How can I find the 10 Heavens Supreme Lord's tomb? Xianxia felt that this was extremely difficult. He looked at Huang Jintian and asked, "Master, do you not have any clues in your ancient book?" Who was the one who brought 10 Heavens Supreme Lord's corpse here? Huang Jintian shook his head. I am not sure. When the 10 Heavens Supreme Lord died, this place had not become like this. Even if there were clues, it would be difficult to find the Emperor's tomb here. Xianxia guessed that the Ice Dragon and Super Old Fire Beast might have brought the 10 Heavens Supreme Lord here. The two fellows were extremely powerful holy beasts at the time, and they were even more powerful now. It was just that they had left the 9 Heaven world and were heading to a very powerful place. Suddenly, the boat shook violently. Huang Jintian, who was drinking the hot soup, was splashed all over. We've been attacked. Huang Jintian was slightly angry. Quickly go out and see who that bastard is. I must properly teach him a lesson. In the past 10 days, they had not come across anything along the way. Now that they were suddenly attacked, Xianxia was more or less excited in his heart. Xianxia left the cabin and went outside the boat. He saw a few people wearing fiery red robes standing around the boat. The robes that only belonged to Fire Divine Palace wrapped around them tightly. He could not even see their heads clearly. Why did you attack my ship? Xianxia said angrily. When Huang Jintian walked out and saw that it was from the Dragon Subduing School, he knew that nothing good would happen. We are only asking you to come down. This is our territory. You trespassed into our territory. We have already shown mercy by not killing you. Leave the boat and go back by yourselves. His voice sounded a bit old, as if he was an old man. Xianxia was worried about not understanding the situation around him, and that there would be people knocking on his door. It was a good thing for him. There are 8 of us. So what if we don't have 4? Huang Jintian sent a sound transmission to Xianxia. Since these fellows want to snatch your boat, there's no need to be courteous anymore. Xianxia shouted to the people of Fire Divine Palace. You are all from Fire Divine Palace. It is really my luck to be able to meet you all here. The first few sentences made the people from the Fire Divine Palace feel a sense of pride. But after hearing Xianxia's last sentence, they immediately knew that Xianxia wanted to fight with them. When Xianxia said those words, Huang Jintian had already disappeared, and this time it was a blizzard. It was much easier for a sneak attack like Xianxia and Xianxia to succeed, and in the blink of an eye they disappeared into the wind. Be careful. These 2 guys are not simple. They were all in the late stage of the Immortal King stage, and there were 8 of them who thought that they could do whatever they wanted in Dtion. That was why, when they saw that it was very comfortable, they wanted to take it for themselves. You clearly know that we're from the Fire Divine Palace, but you still want to attack us? When the old man saw Xianxia and Huang Jintian suddenly disappear, he became indescribably terrified in his heart, because this was simply too bizarre. Xianxia summoned his green dragon demon-slain broadsword and slashed his blade towards the old man with lightning speed. The cyan light flashed and the dragon roared as the divine blade was chopped out by Xianxia using his divine power, releasing a burst of pure sword chi, causing the snow around to shatter into pieces. Hearing the dragon's roar, seeing the piercing green light, all the immortal kings of Fire Divine Palace felt green dragon demon-slain broadsword in their hearts. It was the first time they had seen this blade, but they immediately recognized it. The person in the boat was actually Xianxia. Ah! A miserable scream sounded out as the snow and ice that were flying in the air were suddenly dyed red by a stream of fresh blood that shot out like a tornado. Xianxia slashed out with his blade, not bothering to look at the man. He rushed towards the other man. Locking onto him, he brandished his divine blade and activated his divine force, mercilessly slashing the knife out, slicing the man's body in half. The Xianxia of the Immortal Becoming Realm, even without using green dragon demon-slain broadsword and god power, just the terrifying strength of his body was enough to tear these immortal kings of the Fire Divine Palace apart. Huang Jintian had stayed in the sacred region for more than 200 years, and with the cooperation of the cats, he had obtained a large amount of beast cores. By absorbing the holy energy from the beast cores, his strength had also increased by leaps and bounds, and his skinny old hands that were like devil claws grabbed onto those immortal kings were torn to pieces by a very strange and brutal method. 8 late-stage immortal kings in the 9 heaven world, excluding the Immortal Becoming Realm, it was an extremely terrifying force. However, Facing this master and disciple that had stepped into the immortal becoming realm, they had no power to retaliate at all. In the blink of an eye, only one was left. This was a person that Xianxia had deliberately left behind. He wanted to know what the Fire Divine Palace had sent these people here for. After using the soul-absorbing devil spell, Xianxia had already received his answer. These guys are also here to search for 10 Heaven's Supreme Lord's tomb. Looks like that Fire Emperor knows a lot of things, but he's not too sure, so he sent these guys to investigate. Xianxia said, "Did they find anything?" Huang Jintian looked at the green dragon demon-slain broadsword in Xianxia's hands. "No, they've been here for a few months, but they haven't found anything." When Xianxia saw Huang Jintian staring at his green dragon demon-slain broadsword, he could not help but lower his head and look. "You saw it too, I thought I was mistaken." His body moved a little just now. Huang Jintian suddenly became excited. 10 Heaven's Supreme Lord was once the owner of the green dragon demon-slain broadsword. Maybe I can use this blade to find the Emperor's tomb. The green dragon demon-slain broadsword was originally a divine blade, so when Xianxia used it before, he could feel that there were other memories on the blade. He guessed that it was when the 10 Heaven's Supreme Lord used it, it was recorded down by the spirit of the blade. He held the green dragon demon-slain broadsword horizontally, pointed the blade tip straight ahead, and then walked in circles on the spot, at the same time making Huang Jintian pay attention to the movement above the green dragon demon-slain broadsword. Xianxia stood at his original position and slowly rotated. He wanted to see if this blade could really sense where 10 Heaven's Supreme Lord's tomb was located at. When he turned around, Huang Jintian suddenly shouted, "There's a reaction. It's coming from this direction." Just now, Xianxia also saw the dragon atop the green dragon demon-slain broadsword tremble slightly, although they were not sure if this blade could bring them to the ground. But at this moment, Xianxia and Huang Jintian were extremely excited. He entered the cabin of the small boat. Xianxia tried it out inside, and the green dragon demon-slain broadsword was the same as before. When Xianxia used the tip of the blade to point in that direction, the green dragon on the blade would slightly tremble. "Hurry up and go check it out. Even if there isn't an emperor's tomb, there are still some other things." Huang Jintian was extremely excited. He wished he could fly over and take a look. Xianxia urged the small boat to move forward quickly. He could not wait either. Adding that the evil dragon graveyard was being watched, he could return immediately after taking care of this place. Not knowing why, Xianxia directed the boat towards the direction indicated by the green dragon demon-slain broadsword. But after a few days, the snowstorm suddenly weakened a lot. After another 2 days, the snowstorm stopped, and Xianxia stood on top the boat, looking ahead. "Don't tell me if we approach this place, the blizzard will disappear." Xianxia looked behind him. The strong wind was still howling in other places, and the ice and snow were raging everywhere. Huang Jintian frowned as he looked at the ice mountains. He suddenly shouted, "If you do not wish for this ship to be destroyed, hurry up and keep it." Back in the Saint Realm, he had often gone to search for Saint Beasts. Now that he was here, he could see that there was probably a beast up ahead. At this time, Xianxia and Huang Jintian talked about walking on a flat snowy ground with only a layer of white snow on top. "Did you find anything?" Huang Jintian stopped and asked Xianxia. Xianxia felt the ground beneath his feet tremble, and nodded. "What is this? It feels very strong." Huang Jintian shook his head. "Be careful, we should be very close to the Emperor's tomb. It's normal for us to be in danger." The ground gently trembled and then disappeared. Only then did Xianxia and Huang Jintian dare to take a few steps back. But before they could do so, the ground suddenly shook again. "Not good, he's right below us." Huang Jintian's face turned ugly, and anxiously shouted, "Quickly, jump up!" Hearing Huang Jintian's words, without saying a word, Xianxia immediately jumped up, and at the same time looked down at the ground. A large piece of ice ground below suddenly cracked and split open, revealing a snow-white toad that was as large as a mountain. It opened its huge mouth, and the white tongue that came out of its mouth shot towards Xianxia like a beam of light. Xianxia had no choice but to use the spatial travel to dodge it, otherwise, he would be sucked into the giant frog's stomach. What the hell is this? Xianxia still had some lingering fear in his heart. He was just a bit away from falling into the giant mouth of the toad. This is trouble. This is the legendary holy ice frog. Hurry up and run. Even if this thing isn't a holy beast, it's more or less the same as a holy beast. Huang Jintian's scalp went numb. He anxiously shouted at Xianxia. Xianxia said in shock, "A holy ice frog that can be released at any time." The profound Han poison was one of the super old poison. Xianxia had heard by Yu say that the holy ice frog had this poison as well. Towards this kind of poison, Xianxia did not need to be afraid because he had the devil-suppressing golden body, but Huang Jintian did not know. If he was sprayed with this holy ice frog, he might die. Huang Jintian had already run away. Just now, the holy ice frog had attacked Xianxia, opened its mouth and revealed a very long tongue, releasing the profound Han poison. However, Xianxia possessed the devil-suppressing golden body, so he did not discover the profound Han poison. The holy ice frog's tongue did not hit Xianxia. It was a little angry, and quickly spat out its tongue. This time it was much faster than last time and actually hit Xianxia. When Huang Jintian saw this from afar, he shouted out, "Brat!" Xianxia's body was wrapped up by the huge tongue and dragged into the holy ice frog's huge mouth. Huang Jintian was a little worried, but he knew that Xianxia's life was very tough, so he should be fine. "That tongue of yours is a profound Han poison, but it's useless against me. The fault lies in dragging me into your mouth. You're done for." Xianxia's body shook for a while, then released a burst of God power that shone with a white light, allowing him to struggle free from the trap of his tongue. In the blink of an eye, over 100 blades all infused with Xianxia's powerful divine power. The blade and blade transformed into astral blades that flew out. Adding the power of the divine blade, every slash that Xianxia made was extremely powerful. Slashing down on the holy ice frog from the inside seemed very easy. Xianxia only needed to slash a few hundred times to feel the holy ice frog frantically rolling. It was obvious that it was because of the pain. Profound Han poison, this is a super old poison. Last time when I saw that evil Snake King use it, I had already thought of it. Xianxia laughed in his heart. "You big toad, you can help me now." Xianxia planned to find the poison sac in the holy ice frog's body. There, he would definitely find a large amount of profound Han poison. Xianxia had a profound wood diamond armor, so he was not afraid of being refined by the holy ice frog. He released his divine power to check the beast cores and poison sac in the holy ice frog's body. So the beast core and the poison sac have fused together. I wonder what would happen after I take the beast core away. Xianxia thought. He sensed that the beast core was right in front of him. In the distance, Huang Jintian saw the holy ice frog rolling and wailing on the spot, and knew that it was caused by Xianxia's body. This made him feel a lot more at ease. Xianxia held the green dragon demon-slain broadsword, and with the help of the blade light, he moved forward inside the darkness of the holy ice frog's body. If he encountered any obstructions, he would chop a few times, and with the divine energy barrier on his body, the poisonous blood could not even touch his body. The poisonous blood would not harm him at all, but it was extremely disgusting. After chopping around for a while, Xianxia finally arrived at the location of the beast core. The beast core was not big, but it contained a very strong Holy Spirit chi and a large number of profound Han poison. This holy ice frog does not know how to take human form. It should be a holy level beast from the primordial era. This beast core is to my advantage. Shun smirked in his heart and brandished his blade to cut off the meridians that were connected to the beast cores. After taking the beast core, Xianxia only felt a violent vibration. The holy ice frog was rolling around randomly. This guy won't die for a while. As Xianxia shook violently, he used the power of the spatial laws to pass through the holy ice frog's body and arrive outside. A beast core without condensed energy was only a relatively large savage beast. However, there were still quite a few profound Han poison left in his body. Those without any strength would be in danger if they met him. Seeing Xianxia coming out, Huang Jintian immediately ran over, and then the two of them entered the group of ice mountains. They did not kill the holy ice frog. Their bodies were covered in poison, and only beast cores were useful. To use Huang Jintian's words, they could not eat it. To meet such a terrifying holy ice frog on the side, would there be something even more powerful if it wasn't inside? Huang Jintian thought of the holy ice frog that he could use, and felt a lingering fear. The holy ice frog's power had suddenly weakened by so much. Huang Jintian had already guessed that Xianxia would take the holy ice frog's beast core, and maybe even get himself those powerful profound Han poison. Be careful. Xianxia restrained his qi. When he walked, he only lightly touched the ground, like smoke. Huang Jintian also went into stealth the same way as Xianxia. This place is so dangerous and cold. It seems like the 10 Heavens Supreme Lord's tomb is really hidden here. Even Huang Jintian felt a chill at this moment. He was an expert of the immortal becoming realm, but when he used his strong saint force to resist the severe cold, he could still feel the cold. On the contrary, Xianxia didn't think so. He would occasionally take out the green dragon demon-slain broadsword and use it to confirm their directions. He believed that the green dragon demon-slain broadsword would definitely give him directions for some reason. There was no blizzard here, only endless ice lands and ice mountains. Xianxia and Huang Jintian moved a lot faster, but the silence here made them feel an unexplainable unease. Something's wrong. Xianxia suddenly stopped and looked at the sky above the ice mountain in the distance. This is fire. The flames that can still burn in here are not weak. At this time of night, both Huang Jintian and Huang Jintian could see that the distant sky was illuminated by a stretch of red flames. They could confirm that the range of the flames was extremely large and that the flames were not ordinary flames. Do you know why? Huang Jintian asked. I'll check. Don't go over there yet. Xianxia controlled the wisps of soul that were floating outside and activated Heaven Tour method, quickly rushing towards the ice mountain. A short while later, Xianxia saw an astonishing scene through the few divine souls. There's a large group of people over there. To be precise, it should be the Draconians. Xianxia exclaimed. He saw that behind the group of ice mountains was a vast ice plains, and above them, there were over 1,000 dragon armors and dragon scales wearing men fighting, and further away, there were even a few humanoid dragons fighting, shattering a huge ice plains. The scene was extremely shocking because it was too far away. He could only hear a few dull rumbling sounds. There's actually a dragon here. It seems to be a strong dragon. Huang Jintian was also extremely surprised. Xianxia could see what kind of dragons those were. One was the ice dragon, and the other was the fire dragon and the lightning dragon. At this moment, he was very sure that the 10 Heavens Supreme Lord's tomb was here. The ice dragons must have been arranged by the ice dragon grandmaster to be guarding this place. But why were the fire dragon thunder dragons here? The ice dragons, the fire dragons, and the thunder dragons are fighting. They were originally here, and although the weapons in their hands are not bad, they look like ancient forging weapons. They don't seem like they came from the recent era. Xianxia said, Let's go over to take a look. If necessary, we still have to help the Ice Dragon branch. The Ice Dragon bloodline had long left the Imperial Dragon race, and Long Huishan's Ice Dragon bloodline had a very good relationship with Xianxia. He felt that the Ice Dragon that guarded this place should be the same as the one that Long Huishan was currently leading. When Xianxia and Huang Jintian let go of that big mountain, the ice plains that were illuminated bright by the firelight had already been dyed red. The flames that shot out from the powerful sky dragon during battle fell onto the ice plains and melted a large area of ice mountains. Looks like the ice dragon draconians are at a disadvantage, said. Previously, when Xianxia looked at it, there were still about 500 draconians on the side of the ice dragon, but now there were only 300 of them. Xianxia looked at the direction where the dragon roars continuously in unending. That was the direction of the battle between the ice dragon and the fire dragon. The opposing side have the immortal becoming realm draconians, but we do not need to worry. The immortal becoming realm draconians are evenly matched. The worst are the ones at the bottom. If this goes on, the casualties on the side of the ice dragon will be even more severe. Let us take action. Xianxia said as he tossed the ice dragon's sword back to Huang Jintian. Take this sword. The ice dragon shouldn't be making things difficult for you. So this is the legendary ice dragon sword. It's really not simple. Huang Jintian laughed mischievously as he rushed forward with the ice dragon holy sword in his hand. Xianxia then took out his green dragon demon-slain broadsword and traveled through space, continuously arriving in front of the ice dragon teams that were trapped in bitter battles. He helped them block the lightning bolts unleashed by the combined might of more than 10 Thunder Draconians. Xianxia's sudden appearance, coupled with the fact that he had used the green dragon demon-slain broadsword to split a dozen of the incoming thunder powers, made the green dragon demon-slain broadsword let out a long hiss and released the unique tyrant dragon chi, causing the Draconians to tremble. Green dragon demon-slain broadsword. Person shouted loudly. It was someone from the ice dragon race, and his voice was extremely excited. Are you here to protect the Emperor's tomb? Xianxia asked the ice dragon clansman behind him. Holding onto the divine blade, he looked coldly at the group of Thunder Draconians whose faces were filled with fear. Yes, we have been protecting them for many years. Over these many years, they all wanted to charge into the Emperor's tomb. This time, they have brought a lot of reinforcements. A young man behind Xianxia looked angrily at the group of Thunder Draconians who were attacking them. Be careful. I will do my best to help you. After Xianxia finished speaking, he instantly teleported to the back of the 10 over Thunder Draconians. The green dragon demon-slain broadsword in his hand suddenly became several meters long, and he horizontally slashed towards the dozen or so Thunder Draconians. With a schwa sound, the enlarged green dragon demon-slain broadsword in Xianxia's hands flashed with a green light, and the blade stroke was completed. There was only a green arc left behind, and the dozens of lightning dragons in the late stage of Immortal King were all chopped apart. Quickly kill him. We can't let him near the Emperor's tomb. A fire dragon man roared and sprinted forward. His entire body was covered in flames. The fiery red scales on his body were shining brightly. One of his arms had already turned into a ferocious dragon claw, with holy flames spewing out, striking towards Xianxia. Just as he was about to slap Xianxia's shoulder, the dragon arm was blocked by a snow-white long sword. Huang Jintian had already arrived and used the ice dragon sword to block the attack of the fire dragon elder. Brat, go deal with those small fries. Leave this guy to me. Huang Jintian laughed. The dragon power on his body suddenly became boundless, accompanied by a trembling dragon slaying chi. Taiji dragon suppressed kung fu. The old man was shocked. This was something that the dragon race had specially researched to use against him. The dragon subduing chi was like a dragon entering the sea, roaring as it rammed into the old man, extinguishing the raging flames on his body, and even destroying a few of the stiff dragon scales on his body. When the green dragon demon-slain broadsword S appeared, Ice Dragon Race's morale immediately rose, and his fighting strength increased by quite a bit. Xianxia released a vast amount of god power, forming a huge spirit realm, covering the entire battlefield, locking onto the fire dragon people and thunder dragon people, then circulating the god power within his body and pouring it into the green dragon demon-slain broadsword, causing it to tremble slightly. Spatial slash. Xianxia stood in place and slashed out. In an instant, the green dragon demon-slain broadsword appeared in many different places, and the spaces around the people he had locked onto were all cut apart by his blade. Annihilate. Xianxia threw a palm strike towards the 100 small spaces that he had locked onto. The power of the mountain and sea realm, the power of the sun, moon, and stars, these were Xianxia's killing blows that came from fusing with the heaven-earth killing method. The majority of the people he had locked onto were at the late-stage Immortal King stage, with a few Immortal becoming Realm S. After their bodies were slashed by Xianxia and struck by the palm, they instantly turned into ashes. An old man from the Ice Dragon race saw that Xianxia was so scary and immediately shouted, "Quickly retreat! It's convenient for him to take action." At this time, many of the Ice Dragon race's Draconians were fighting in close quarters against the enemy, so they were hindering Xianxia. After the Ice Dragon people heard this, they tried to break away from their trembling enemies and moved towards Xianxia. Xianxia stood still, using the spatial slash and the heaven and earth annihilation palm to work together. Through the method of teleportation, he attacked the Thunder Dragon people and Fire Dragon people, causing them to be forced to retreat slowly. Only some of the faster fighters knew to stabilize the surrounding space to prevent this kind of spatial attack. In just a short moment, the opponent had lost more than 200 people. Huang Jintian cursed on the side. Humph! A muffled sound came from afar. Xianxia suddenly felt a strong pressure, making him feel as if he was facing a strong holy beast. The other Ice Dragon people beside him all called out, "It's Saint Ruler Thunder Dragon. Senior, you have to be careful." A thick bolt of lightning streaked across the night sky, striking straight at Xianxia. At that instant, Xianxia felt a wave of oppressive cold energy attack him, and the people around him were also covered in a thick layer of ice. It was as if they were frozen in an ice mountain and unable to move, but that cold energy did not harm them. The moment the lightning bolt struck down, it was blocked by the ice mountain that was condensed by the cold energy. The person inside the ice mountain was completely unharmed, but the ice mountain only broke after encountering such a strong attack. Xianxia broke free from the ice mountain and saw 7 young men in white standing in front of them. Their clothes were the same, their long hair fluttering in the wind straight down to their waists, their skin white, their expression handsome. They were actually 7 young men who looked exactly the same. This is a 7th birth, right? I wonder which ice dragon this is from. It's so powerful. Xianxia had already noticed that the 7 youths were precisely the 7 ice dragons from the ice dragon race. And at the place of death and injury, there stood 5 middle-aged men in red armor and 5 burly men in black armor. They had 10 dragons, 5 fire dragons and 5 thunder dragons, and they were all extremely powerful dragons of the holy level. The strength of the ice dragons was not bad. 7 ice dragons were able to fight to a draw against 10 dragons. The inheritor of the divine blade is indeed extraordinary. Thank you for helping us out. From the looks of it, he should be the boss of the ice dragon race. He even looked at the ice dragon sword in Huang Jintian's hand, which Huang Jintian also threw back to Xianxia. They did not expect Xianxia to obtain the green dragon demon-slain broadsword, nor did they expect him to obtain the ice dragon sword. They all knew what the ice dragon sword meant, and the people who obtained the ice dragon sword would definitely be able to meet their ice dragon ancestor. They wanted to ask, but now was not the time. Their mission was to destroy the emperor's tomb, but they had not succeeded in all these years. Now that the new owner of the green dragon demon-slain broadsword had finally arrived, and he was even a very strong guy with just a few moves, he had already killed more than half of their people. There were even a few immortal becoming realm cultivators among them. You're welcome. I've always been good friends with the Ice Dragon clan outside. Xianxia laughed. Seniors, can you guys take down those fellows on the other side now? Brat, we can take him down just like that. Although you have the green dragon demon-slain broadsword, do you dare to face us alone? One of the thunder dragons opposite of him roared, looking extremely angry. You're still young. Now that you're in Emperor's tomb, it's still a matter of whether you can come out alive. The ice dragon head smiled. It's nothing to bully a little kid. It looks like he is much younger than your grandson, but he killed a lot of your grandson just now. If it's a 1v1, do you dare to face me on your own? It may not be possible in the past, but it should be possible now. Little brother, I wonder if I can borrow a ice dragon sword for a bit. The words from the ice dragon head made the 10 dragons' faces turn serious. Xianxia laughed. Not only do I have ice dragon sword S here, I can also lend you holy dragon sword, fire dragon sword, heavenly evil sword S, and all of them to you. He had already taken out the few famous holy swords back then, and waved them in his hands, which frightened the dragons quite a bit, and threw out 3 7 dragons sword S with one word. This was sure Wuju. Even back then, it was difficult for these swords to come together. Xianxia did not care about the ice dragons. He threw them all over, and when they were all caught by the ice dragon head, he, who was extremely well trained, could not help but be shocked at this moment. To be able to get 3 7 dragons sword S and a heavenly evil sword S in one go, made his hands tremble. The holy swords were of the 3rd, 6th and 9th ranks, and these holy swords were of the highest quality. The green dragon demon-slain broadsword can also be lent to you. Xianxia then threw out the green dragon demon-slain broadsword. Although it would not fuse with the other party, it could still unleash a lot of the green dragon demon-slain broadsword's power if the user himself was strong. As long as Xianxia was willing to lend it out, the green dragon demon-slain broadsword himself would be willing to do the same. The ice dragon head caught the green dragon demon-slain broadsword that Xianxia threw over, and almost lost its balance. If he did not use the powerful holy dragon power in his body, he probably would not be able to lift it. Sixth and seventh brother, you guys stay here and protect them. Of the 10 of them, only 5 of us will be enough to deal with them. After suddenly obtaining a few sharp weapons, the ice dragon head became much more confident, and gave the holy sword in his hand to the appropriate brothers to use, leaving 2 to protect Xianxia and the others. The face of one of the armored men changed. You! Kill! The ice dragon and the others didn't transform into dragons. Instead, they wielded these weapons and charged toward their opponents. The green dragon demon-slain broadsword was in Xianxia's hands, so the fire dragons and thunder dragons did not have much pressure. But with the ice dragon head in the hands, they suddenly felt an immense pressure and had the thought of escaping. But even if they wanted to escape, it was already too late because the ice dragons had already charged over. Bastard! One of the lightning dragons let out an angry curse and turned into a huge dragon clad in black armor that coiled around lightning. It hovered high in the sky. The other 9 dragons were unambiguous as well, transforming into their strongest forms, transforming into many huge dragons. At the same time, they released their dragon's might and the force that erupted when they transformed into dragons, causing the people on their side to fall on the ground and spit out blood. They were severely injured, and it seemed like they did not have time to care about the draconians. Just as Xianxia felt a tremor, his vision suddenly went white. He knew that their group of people were once again sealed in ice, and this time they were in the same 3 layers, inside and outside. He couldn't see the outside at all. He could see the souls he released outside but did not dare to approach them. This was because the 2 souls near him had been dispersed by the powerful pressure. The remaining souls could only watch from afar. 10 huge dragons danced chaotically in the air, covering half of the sky, and when the dragon scales on their bodies opened and closed, they spewed out violent flames. The earth-shattering dragon roar was accompanied by bursts of earth-shattering thunder, and the flames released by the fire dragons burned a large piece of the glacier. The 5 ice dragons still had not taken shape, and with their small human bodies, they agilely circled the 10 dragons. The great battle continued for an entire day. It was extremely shocking, and many huge icebergs were flattened. Huge lakes appeared within the ice plains, and a sea of fire burned up again and again. In the end, the attack reached Xianxia's soul and scattered his soul, preventing him from watching this earth-shattering battle anymore. These dragons were merely sky dragons that had completed the 9th cycle of the sacred transformation. The 2 ice dragons protecting Xianxia and the others weren't easy to deal with either. They continuously released cold energy to maintain the strength of the ice mountain and to prevent it from being flattened by the aftermath of the battle. The ice dragons were also having a tough time fighting on their side, but with their 5 dragons they could fight evenly with the 10 dragons on the other side, and could even suppress their opponents gradually, so they had the upper hand. Although the weapons that Xianxia had lent them were not bad, they were unable to unleash the powers of the famous weapons. The battle lasted for 2 days before it ended. After the ice mountain that sealed Xianxia and the others disappeared, they saw that they were surrounded by a gigantic sky cavern, and there was even a large flame burning in the sky. It's over. The ice dragon head leader's face turned pale, and returned the artifacts to Xianxia. The 5 ice dragons that were participating in the battle were currently extremely weak, but their faces were filled with excitement and joy, because they had finally defeated the enemy that they had faced for so many years. Furthermore, they could also leave this place immediately, without having to protect the Emperor's tomb. This is for you. I think it might be useful to you. The leader of the ice dragons took out a long sword shining with lightning. On the sword was carved a fine dragon mark, which Xianxia could immediately recognize as the Thunder Dragon Sword. This is too precious. Chun Xiang wanted it very much, but he felt apologetic. This was a spoil of war that others had spent a lot of effort to defeat their opponent. The leader smiled slightly. Just accept them. The fact that you are here has brought us great fortune, allowing us to get rid of those annoying fellows. It won't be long before we leave this place to meet the 9-heaven world we've always yearned for. Chun Xiang accepted the Thunder Dragon Sword, but he also took out 2 blood exquisite fruits as a gift. The blood exquisite fruit was extremely helpful to the holy beasts, and the Ice Dragon head leader also took it without hesitation. I know you have a lot to ask. Let's talk somewhere else. Chun Xiang and Huang Jintian followed their group as they flew high up in the sky. They lived very far away from here, and Chun Xiang felt that they were not limited to this kind of people. My name is Long Da. Our parents are too lazy, so they called us Long Da, Long Air. The youngest is Long Qi. We all have the same thoughts, so even if they don't speak, I still know what they mean. Chun Xiang did not expect them to be 7 twins. He had thought that they were clones or something like that.